Yes, sir.
Right now? All right.
You know,
All right, so Brendan Taylor here. I'm with my man Dane, and we're here live at the Edgar Berlanga, or Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga press conference at the MGM. I'm filling in for Shawn Porter today, so thank you to Shawn for allowing me to be on here. I'll swing it over to Dane. Dane, I want to get your initial thoughts, man. What's the initial thoughts on the whole card? I know there's been some mixed reviews from people, but what do you think?
I mean, I'm excited about it personally. You know, I think there's a lot of good names on the card. We got Canelo, we got Lara, who him and Canelo had a classic fight back in some years back at what, 54.
154, yeah.
Got Danny Garcia, who I was telling you about before. Like, that's definitely one of my favorite fighters. So glad to see him back in action. Caleb Plant, Cool Boy Steph returning, and the wild card Rolly. So I'm happy to see. I think it's a stacked card, big card. I know there's a lot of noise around it where some people may not be too happy with the main event. But I think Edgar Berlanga put himself in a position to get this fight, and I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, I am too. And it's a big Mexico versus Puerto Rico fight, and more so than that, it's an event because Mexico Puerto Rico has a long storied history of not just being big fights but big events.
Yeah.
As far as that fight playing out, how do you think that fight goes, Canelo Berlanga?
I mean, you can't pick against Canelo, of course. He's too skilled, too seasoned, too experienced. But I'm excited to see what Berlanga does. I think he's saying a lot of the right things. He's talking heavy. Is he going to go out there and, kind of go out on his shield, try to land something big? Or is he going to shy up in the moment? It's a lot of bright lights. I don't think he's ever been on a stage like this. But I got to take Canelo by stoppage late.
Stoppage, okay.
Yeah.
That seems to be the popular opinion. I actually have Canelo by decision, and I'll get into more of that later. It sounds like they're gonna start the press conference. Are we gonna cut? Okay. So right now Ray Flores is talking, but I'll go with Canelo by decision. I think Edgar, being the big strong kid he is, and as hard of a puncher he is, I think he has enough to keep Canelo honest. Mm-hmm. And if you look at Canelo's last 3-4 fights, whether he wins or loses, he fades. Round 8 onwards, he's fading. John Ryder, he's fading. Dimitri Bivol, he's fading. Golovkin 3, he's fading. So maybe he does sit down Edgar with a left hook and take advantage of the defensive lapses that he has sometimes. But
I can see that. I mean, Canelo does. I could attest to that. He does seem to fade some fights. But I think the way Edgar Berlanga's been talking, and we're going to see how it goes, in a few moments.
Yep.
Edgar Berlanga's kind of, he might be writing a check with his mouth. His ass can't, cash. So,
okay. We'll see.
We
know. Edgar's going on stage now. Is it Edgar? Is Edgar on stage now?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So the press conference is starting now. Edgar Berlanga getting ready to make his presence felt.
Yeah. Like I said, I think Canelo's got a little extra motivation, and he wants to spank the young boy. But like I said, I'm hoping Edgar comes out, guns blazing. Don't be too sloppy because Canelo is slick.
Correct.
But don't shy. Don't get shy in the moment.
But shout out to the chat. Shout out to all 31 of you rocking with the PorterWay Podcast right now. It's your boy BT Brendan Taylor from True School Sports. Check me out. Check my channel out. I'm filling in for Shawn today, and those are pretty big shoes to fill when we here. Yeah. With my guy Dane making it do what it do. And if you guys got any questions, let us know.
Yep. And while y'all at it too, definitely check out theporterway.com. Go get some merch. Keep supporting the show. Your support enables us to be out here and do these types of things. So, keep rocking.
All right. We're cutting right now, but we'll be back, guys.
Bless.
Canelo Alvarez, it's all about Mexican pride. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Mr. Tom Brown. Now let's meet some members of Team Berlanga as we bring up the chairman of Matchroom Sport. Here is Mr. Eddie Hearn.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, it's a special week, isn't it? Mexican Independence Weekend, and of course, another defense of the undisputed championship from the great Canelo Alvarez. I'm excited about this fight. You know, when two guys come face to face, and when someone really, really has, as you guys say, the cojones to take this guy on for real, not talk about it, not come to survive 12 rounds, but when these two look each other in the eye, excuse my French, you know they just want to fuck each other up. This guy to my left is here to fight. I've been involved in so many of these fights, sometimes on this side, sometimes on this side. When I turned up yesterday, I saw the most determined, most confident, and most ballsy challenger I've seen yet taking on this guy in Edgar Berlanga. I know what Canelo Alvarez wants at this stage in his career. He wants a real fight. He will get a real fight on Saturday night. This guy is 22-0, he's undefeated, he's young, he has 0 miles on the clock, 15 consecutive first round knockouts, he punches hard, he's got an underrated boxing IQ as well. And when we signed him, we said one thing, 2 headline fights, and then the shot at Canelo Alvarez. Everything has happened beautifully. We want to thank PBC, Tom, Louis, Team Canelo for the opportunity, and it's a massive opportunity. This is like the lottery ticket of boxing. We're in Las Vegas. It's where you roll the dice. But we're not coming to roll the dice, we're coming to collect the winning ticket. And I promise you, the atmosphere in the team over on Saturday night is going to be incredible. Thank you to Amazon, of course, our partners, DAZN. Another massive week ahead of Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois in front of 96,000 next week at Wembley Stadium. What a time for boxing. This is a great fight, and the man to my left is here to win. He will give you action on Saturday night. Don't rule him out. Enjoy the show, and good luck to all. Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Sport. And now, on my left, when we have a winning formula, they're undefeated. The man that leads Edgar Berlanga to the ring, his esteemed trainer, here is Mark Ferre.
First of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and once again, we're very happy for this opportunity. As any other fight camp will be in our position, we train very hard. Mostly, we know that this fight is not about the physicality, size. We know, as Canelo said many times, he never said Edgar's a bad fighter. He never said, things in the sort of his physical attributes. He spoke about experience, and he spoke about intelligence, which he thinks Edgar has none of. Well, we're here to make a statement. We're here to show the world that September 14th, you're going to see a lot of experience. You're going to see a lot of patience. You're going to see a lot of execution. We're not going to take away Edgar's explosiveness. He's going to be right there for him. And Canelo's smart. Canelo's not going to come out and fight him right away. That's impossible. Because if he does, there's going to be a fire shoot early on. But as he said in many of his interviews, right, that he's a better fighter now than he was when he was 24. Why is that? Intelligence, experience, passive aggressiveness. That's what Edgar's going to have September 14th. We had a great camp, and believe me, we are grateful to Team Canelo for giving us this opportunity. Because it's an opportunity to knock the king off the throne. Every king's reign comes to an end. But I know, as I told Edgar, he ain't gonna want to give it to no Puerto Rican. And if we think that Canelo doesn't have it, oh, he's coming. We want the best of him. Because when we beat him Saturday night, we don't want to say he's an old Canelo. He was, too many fights on his belt. And let's keep in mind, he had 25 defenses. That's more than Edgar has in his career as a fighter. But I believe in my kid. I believe in my guy. The same way Reynoso brung Canelo up, I brung Edgar up. This is not only a fight for Edgar, but I had to do my homework against Reynoso, who's a great trainer. We have a lot of similarities. And Saturday, you're going to see Edgar perform. And just like you, I'm going to be a fan, because I guarantee you, you're going to see something that not even I've seen. So it's going to be a very exciting fight. Don't overlook him, man. Media can say what they want, they can do what they want. The Bible says, right, that the Lord is going to prepare you at a table before your enemies. The world's against Edgar, sitting right here. And you guys are his enemies. And guess what? You're going to see the glory. This kid worked very hard. Same way like Canelo did. So I know September 14th, the world's going to get a great fight. A great fight. And I guarantee at the end of that fight, Canelo's going to walk up and say, you're a great young fighter. So I want to thank Canelo, PBC, and we'll see you September 14th.
All right, thank you very much to Mark Ferre. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I want to acknowledge Edgar Berlanga Sr., who is on stage. Round of applause to Edgar Berlanga Sr. And also Keith Connolly, Edgar Berlanga's manager as well. Keith Connolly joining us here on the stage as well. Now let's meet some members of Team Canelo. You heard from one half of the winning formula on our main event. Now let's meet the other half. Speaking of a winning formula, that's all that this team has done. As I bring up the legendary trainer of Saul Canelo Alvarez, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Jose Chepo Reynoso.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Gracias a todos ustedes por su asistencia.
Thank you all for coming.
A lo largo de los años que tengo, que ya son muchos,
I've been around this sport.
me ha tocado ver muchos grandes campeones
I've gotten to see a lot
puertorriqueños.
of champions.
Desde la época de Carlos Ortiz, los que son viejos como yo seguramente se acuerdan de Carlos Ortiz. Tremendo campeón, y me tocó ver alguna vez pelear con Quiminio Ramos, otro México-cubano. Grandes campeones ha habido, de gran respeto. ¿Quién no se acuerda de Wilfredo Gómez, de Wilfredo Benítez, de Tito Trinidad, el Macho Camacho, en fin, grandes campeones que merecen mi respeto? Todos ellos porque fueron unos verdaderos guerreros. Saúl ha peleado con muchos puertorriqueños, con varios, todos de respeto, Miguel Cotto, en fin, muchos. Y la historia dice que a todos les hemos ganado, a todos los puertorriqueños. Así que el sábado, no creo que este muchacho sea la excepción. Gracias.
So it's a matter of honor here and knowing that, there is a long history of Puerto Rican champions. And from Macho Camacho to Carlos Ortiz to Tito Trinidad, the history just, it writes itself. You know that they have a long line of champions. But Canelo here is a warrior, and we know that we're going to put on a great show on Saturday night, and we know that we're here to fight, and we're gonna be here to give our best.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the comments of Jose Chepo Reynoso, round of applause. And now we bring up the man who is Canelo's manager and also his trainer as well, certainly has gone to battle with Canelo many times over again. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the esteemed Eddie Reynoso.
Buenas tardes a todos. Gracias antes que nada por asistir aquí a la conferencia, seguir apoyando como siempre al boxeo.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming out to the press conference and thank you for supporting boxing.
Y agradecer a todos los involucrados, al Heyman de PBC, a Eddie Hearn de Mushroom, al equipo de Edgar Berlanga, todo su equipo de trabajo, al de nosotros también.
And thank you to Al Heyman, to Matchroom, to Berlanga's team, and to my team as well for making all this happen.
Nos hemos preparado bastante bien para esta pelea porque sabemos que todos los jóvenes que vienen empujando fuerte en el boxeo,
You know, like, and we've tried hard for this fight. We've trained hard for this fight because we know that there's a young fighter out here, like many other young fighters that are trying to come up here in boxing.
así como Edgar Berlanga, quieren ganarle al campeón. Nosotros estamos conscientes de todo ello. Sabemos que Edgar es un peleador fuerte, un peleador con muchas ganas, como todos los que han peleado con Saúl.
Edgar Berlanga is one of those young fighters, a strong young fighter that wants to prove himself against someone like Saúl.
Por eso hicimos las cosas de la mejor manera, con mucha conciencia, sabiendo de que tenemos enfrente un gran oponente, pero nosotros confiamos en nuestro trabajo, confiamos en nuestro campeón y el sábado esperamos llevarnos la victoria.
That's why we've done things like very thoroughly, knowing that we have a really hungry good opponent in front of us, but we also know that we're here to make history and that we have everything in front of us as well.
Y pues de nuevo gracias a todos los que están involucrados y que sigan apoyando como siempre al boxeo y pues que viva México el sábado una vez más.
Once again, thank you to all involved. Keep supporting boxing. Viva Mexico once again.
Gracias.
All right, thank you very much to Eddie Reynoso. Also, I want to acknowledge from Premier Boxing Champions, Mr. Louis DeCubas Jr. as well. Round of applause for Louis DeCubas Jr. from Premier Boxing Champions. Well, does it get any better than being here in Las Vegas during Mexican Independence Day week? Well, yes, it does. Why? Because we have Mexico against Puerto Rico. You think of the lineage that we've had in this epic rivalry. We've had the likes of Wilfredo Gomez against Salvador Sanchez, Julio Cesar Chavez against Hector Macho Camacho. Just under 9 years ago, Canelo Alvarez fought the great Miguel Cotto. And on Saturday night, PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video, that tradition and that rivalry is furthered as we turn another chapter. Let's meet a man who is undefeated, 22 fights, 22 wins, 17 of those coming by way of knockout from Brooklyn, New York, proudly representing his heritage of Puerto Rico, currently ranked the #1 ranked super middleweight according to the WBA. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Edgar, the chosen one of Berlanga.
I would like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, once again for this opportunity. You know, this is an opportunity of a lifetime for us, Team Berlanga. We want to thank Team Canelo once again for the opportunity. It's going to be a fight this weekend, man. You know, got a lot of doubters out there, people that don't believe in me, you know, but Saturday night we're going to make them believers. You know, it's going to be a big night. You know, you got Puerto Rico versus Mexico. You know, you got me and Canelo. You know, Puerto Rican superstar and a Mexican superstar. So we're going at it this weekend. It's going to be a fight. Like I said, man, all glory to God. Jesus is King. And thank you guys. I love y'all, man. See y'all Saturday.
Thank you very much to Edgar Berlanga. And now, I bring a man up to the stage that has done this many, many times over again. His record, 61 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending WBC, WBA, and WBO super middleweight champion of the world desde Guadalajara, Jalisco, México. Presentando Saúl Canelo Álvarez.
Thank you so much. I don't have much to say. I just want to thank everybody for coming and support boxing, support me. Thank you to my team, Canelo team, all of them. Eddie Reynoso, Chepo Reynoso being with me my whole life. And Al Heyman, Luis de Cubas, thank you. Tom, thank you for everything. Eddie Hearns, thank you for making this happen too. And I just can't wait to Saturday, so thank you everybody. Thank you so much.
Saúl Canelo Álvarez. Now I'm going to talk with both men as they get ready for their epic matchup on Saturday. Canelo, you could have fought anybody. I mean, obviously, it is well documented, the Canelo sweepstakes. But you decided on Edgar Berlanga, who's undefeated 22-0, 17 knockouts. How did you decide to settle on having a guy in Edgar Berlanga that you will collide against during Mexican Independence Day fight weekend?
You know, I fought everybody already, so I was in vacation and Eddie called me. They was working in the fight, and I said, you know, whatever, I don't care, I fight everybody. So, and I think it's a very good fight for the people, you know, Mexico versus Puerto Rico. There's a lot of history there, and I think it's a great match.
Now, for you, Edgar, when you got the call and they said, Canelo, you know, you have an opportunity to fight Canelo, how long did it take you to say yes to that regardless of the financial upside to it?
You know, it was a lot of going back and forth in the beginning, you know, obviously because of the numbers and everything, that makes sense. But I came out here in May for Munguia, for Canelo for Munguia, and the fans was going crazy. You know, they was like, we want you next for September, we want you next, and the Mexican fans was going crazy, right? And then I got to a press conference in New York, with Rada, and you know, Louis was there, and I said, yo, man, we gotta make the fight happen in September. You know, he reached out to Eddie showed love and stuff, and, you know, I sent my love back, and then, you know, we started just working from there. You know, after this victory, we just started pushing the issue, the fight, and we, you know, we got it, we're ready to go.
What's it like being here? Because Canelo has done this many times over again. This is a huge step up for you, main eventing here in Las Vegas. For every prize fighter that puts on a pair of gloves, their dream is to be here in Las Vegas. As you drive up and down the strip and you see your name on the marquee, Canelo Berlanga, what does that mean to you?
It means everything to me, you know, it's been written already, you know. Like I said, right, I'm not supposed to be here, you know. Everybody that's in front of me is all against me, you know. And you got some believers that's out there that's believing me, you know, but because of my accolades and, you know, who I fought, you know, this guy fought legends, you get what I'm saying? So it's bound to happen, you know, it's people's opinion. You know, it's bound to happen that people's gonna say I'm gonna get knocked out. People's gonna say, you know, I'm not gonna go to the whole 12 rounds, you know, because of my career and who I fought. But you know, it was God's plan, man. You know, for this to happen. You know, seeing my name right now, man, is a blessing. You know, like I said, man, I want to thank PBC, PATRON. I want to thank Eddie Hearns, my team, man. This is unbelievable, man.
Canelo, your first time fighting during Mexican Independence Day fight weekend, you got to go back to September of 2012 when you fought Josecito Lopez here nearby at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. You have fought and headlined on Mexican Independence Day fight weekend at least 5 times. How much does that mean to you? Because you are a very proud Mexican. You're an icon to Mexican fight fans around the world. How much does it mean for you to be main eventing and to be competing and displaying your talents during Mexican Independence Day weekend?
No, for me it's an honor fighting in those days. Mexican independence is very important for us, for Mexico, and I feel proud that I represent my country, and I feel very special, and I feel proud, and it's an honor for me.
You fought Miguel Cotto, the great Miguel Cotto, back in November of 2015. So you have been fully entrenched, as your team talked about, of being involved in this rivalry. When you take on someone from Puerto Rico, is there any extra added motivation, any extra added juice because of the rich boxing rivalry between the two countries?
No, I always take my fights seriously, and I always train 100%, like in every fight, no matter who is in there. So I always have the same mentality, and this is no deception. I come in with the same mentality. I did a really good training camp, and we are ready.
Edgar, you have stated that you are predicting a 6th round knockout over Canelo Alvarez. Canelo has never been knocked out in his career. Why are you so confident coming into this matchup that you are going to end him, not only in the fight abruptly, but in the first half of the fight?
You know, as boxers, right? You know, I'm a knockout artist, right? So every fighter wants to knock out. You know, who don't want to knock out? Everybody wants to knock somebody out, right? But, you know, we know that he's a legend, and we know that we can't go in there and just trying to swing for the fence on him. You know what I'm saying? He got great IQ. He's intelligent. So we got to do it the right way. You know, 6-round knockout, yeah, that's what we're going for. You know, and if it comes, it comes. But if we got to go to whole 12, then we're doing that as well. You know, so we're ready for everything that's around the board for this fight, for real.
Canelo, what are your thoughts when he says he's going to knock you out in the 6th round? You've heard predictions from guys before, but this one, 6 rounds or less, he's going to knock you out. Prepare to go 12 rounds, as he proclaims, but what is your response when he says he's going to knock you out in 6 rounds?
Like I always say, it's easy to say, but to do it is very difficult. And Saturday night is going to be very difficult for him, that's for sure.
You have said that you're going to knock him out in the 8th round. Why so?
I prepare myself for that, and winning by knockout is always feel really good. So I want to do my best to do it.
Edgar, what are your thoughts when he says he's going to knock you out in the 8th round?
I mean, you know, like I said before, every fighter wants a knockout. You know, you got 2 guys that's coming to fight, man, and 2 guys that got cannons in them hands. So, you know, for me, it's like who's gonna land first? You know, who's gonna be the smarter man? Who's gonna have the better IQ? Who's gonna be intelligent in that ring? You know, everybody wants to knock out, right? Especially the guys that punch. Guys that punch want to knock somebody out. All my fights, I want to catch a knockout. I want to knock somebody out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's gonna be a big fight. You know, this Saturday, man. It's gonna be something amazing. You know, right now it's real calm. You know, because it's the calm before the storm. You know what I'm saying? The fight is already sold. You know, we're going to do over 1 million pay-per-view buys, you know, and we're going to make the bag and make history, man. You know what I'm saying? And become a legend that day.
Is this the kind of fight that cements your status as being the next big Puerto Rican superstar? Because I feel like from a Puerto Rican standpoint that there is a void there, and this sort of cements your status. If you get your hand raised against the great Canelo Alvarez, that it stamps your legacy as to say, I am the next big Puerto Rican boxing superstar.
Oh, 1,000%. You know, right now Puerto Rico don't have a face, you know, and I feel like after this weekend, you know, I could be the face of Puerto Rico, representing the island. You know, they've been wanting that for so many years. You know, Cotto was the last guy to do it, and you know, now it's my turn to do it. You know, this weekend.
Canelo, what kind of statement are you looking to make against Edgar Berlanga on Saturday night from T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas? What kind of statement are you looking to make?
¿Qué tipo de mensaje estás tratando de mandar en esta pelea?
No, you know, just show everybody I'm still the best.
When it comes to training and preparation, because you've been doing this for nearly 20 years, do you still love going to the gym and embracing it and really sort of diving into a new challenger, especially someone who's undefeated like Edgar Berlanga?
I love it. I love it. When I stop loving, I'm gonna tell you. You're gonna know. I still loving go to the gym, my training camp, my routine, all of this. So I enjoy boxing a lot.
The fans obviously love you. You are just beloved. As we had the grand arrivals yesterday, there will be a lot of people off for the weigh-in on a Friday outside of Toshiba Plaza here in Las Vegas, outside of T-Mobile Arena. But how much does the admiration and the love from the fans mean to you?
No, it means a lot. It means a lot, and I appreciate it a lot, and I'm grateful because, you know, they always support me no matter what, and thank you to everybody for always being there for me. And the only thing I wanted to show them is a really good win Saturday night.
Do you believe that, you know, he is sort of, you mentioned about your ring IQ, that because of the styles you've been in, the legends that you fought, that your ring IQ is going to be that much better than his because he is 22-0, 17 knockouts, hard to beat power puncher, but you have, as his trainer mentioned, 25 world championship fights under your belt.
Mm-hmm. You know, I never overlooking any fighter. I know he's young, he's a good fighter, he's strong. But I've been in there with everybody, so I have so much experience. I'm strong. I have a lot of talent, and I'm just the best.
In the list of guys that you've fought, Canelo, where does he rank among the guys that you've competed against? Or do you want to say that after you compete with him?
Yeah, after Saturday, I can tell you.
Edgar, for you, in terms of being involved in this moment, you talked about, both you and your team mentioned about how you're the underdogs coming into this fight, that the media is writing you off, that they're saying you're not going to go the distance. Is that bulletin board material, does that give you any extra added motivation, or does it not matter because of the fact that you can change your life if you're able to defeat the great Canelo Alvarez?
Oh, 1000%, man. You know, just everybody out there that's been down with me, you know, that's all motivation for us. You know, on social media, you know, the people out there that just, you know, talking bad about me, saying all this stuff, man, it's just about proving them wrong, you know. I've been in this position, you know what I'm saying, and I've been saying this over and over, you know, I've been at the bottom of the bottom, man, you know what I'm saying, from New York, you know, the concrete jungle, man, it's not easy coming from New York, you know, so I've been in a position where I can have, you know, 1,001, you get what I'm saying, and I'm cool with it, man. It's more fuel for me, it's more fire in my blood and my veins, you know, to go out there and perform and be great, man. You know, that's the whole point of boxing, right? You know, it's to go out there and make big fights happen at this magnitude. This is the top of the mountain. This don't get any bigger. You get what I'm saying? So now it's just about me becoming great that night, you know, and putting my last name in the history books forever, you know, and putting Puerto Rico on the map and putting all of the Latin community out there, you know, that's my goal, man. You know, this is all fuel for me. This is all fire in my blood and my vein, you know, through the Holy Spirit, man. You know, we gonna shine Saturday night.
All right, Edgar, we wish you all the best of luck. Edgar Berlanga.
And I want to say something too. Fuck Oscar De La Hoya too. He's always, the motherfucker, keep talking, you're gonna smack him when you see him. You gotta stop, you're trying to fuck up the event.
All right, Edgar Berlanga, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for the unbeaten from Brooklyn, proudly representing Puerto Rico. Now, Canelo Alvarez, the floor is yours. One final message you want to give to the fans, and also Edgar Berlanga, head of your Showtime from T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
No, espero que todos estén ahí apoyándome como siempre, agradecido con cada uno de los mexicanos, de mis fans que siempre están apoyándome. Espero que disfruten de una gran pelea el sábado, de un gran triunfo y que todos gritemos ¡Viva México, cabrones! ¡Ánimo!
¡Viva Puerto Rico, puñeta! I hope that everyone comes out and supports me just like they always do. I'm sending all my love to Mexico, and I hope that by the end of this fight, we can all yell out ¡Viva México, cabrones! like we always do.
All right, a round of applause to Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga, the final press conference Saturday night from T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. BBC pay-per-view on Prime Video. Canelo defending his WBC, WBA, and WBO Super Middleweight Championships of the world against the unbeaten from Brooklyn, representing Puerto Rico, Edgar Berlanga. The undercard workouts coming away 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 local time on the BBC YouTube page. Now we will pose the fighters and their teams off. Canelo and Berlanga, Mexican Independence Day weekend continues here in Las Vegas.
So we're back on the PorterWay Podcast. It's your boy BT, Brennan Taylor, here with my man Dane, filling in for Shawn Porter today. Let's talk about it, man. A couple interesting things to take away from the press conference. A big FU and pretty much talking down on him.
I feel like Canelo would have co-signed that as well, so they got a common interview, but it feels a little eerie, like it's real calm, real intense.
Yeah.
Might see some fireworks on Saturday.
I think so. I really enjoyed the speech from Canelo, Edgar's coach, Mark Ferre. Mark Ferre was like real measured, real calm, real serious, and I know Mark. Mark's he's a teacher of the sport. He's very calculated in how he goes about his business with his fighters. So I would, no matter how the fight goes, I would think Edgar's going to be as prepared as possible. You know?
I hope so. You know, one thing that I've been thinking about leading up to this fight is, Canelo understands range.
Yes.
He knows how to swim without getting wet. He knows how to stay in the pocket. Edgar's got to be, he's got to be cautious of that. He got to understand, like, he can't make too many mistakes because Canelo will be there to capitalize off of that. And I really do hope that he's done his homework and he understands that. Because even like going back to, if you think like the Spence and Crawford fight, it seemed like Spence didn't know what was happening or why he was getting beat the way he was getting beat.
Correct.
And, if Edgar goes out there and he's trying to be too aggressive, it can get ugly.
He's got to pick his spots. I think he's got to pick his spots, and I think what I'm looking for from Edgar, because he's taking a massive jumping class. He's climbing Mount Everest, basically going from Patrick McCoy to Canelo Alvarez. But I'm looking for Edgar to show, can he feint? Can he actually exploit the reach advantage he's going to have? Because he's about an inch taller than Bivol. He's got about an inch longer reach than Bivol. So if he can find a way to exploit that and get into his range and get his power shots off, that's his path of victory in the fight, and maybe taking advantage of Canelo fighting in spurts and fading down the stretch as he tends to do.
And I would say it was the size difference was definitely noticeable up there. Going into the face-off, when I seen Edgar, I didn't feel like he's like a big 168 pounder.
Yeah.
But just seeing him face to face, the Canelo definitely has a good size advantage.
He's filled out.
Lengthwise, I'm not too sure if that's going to be enough because Canelo does have one of the best chins in boxing.
Yeah, he's durability has never been an issue for him, and Canelo he said out there that he this fight he wants to show the world, the boxing public, that he's still the best. Now, just being honest here for a second, I think most of the boxing public would think that he can't really show that until he fights Dave Benavidez. So, if he does take care of business, the question then becomes, how long will he ever get to that?
When it comes down to the Benavidez fight, it's one at a time. You can't fight. You can't get every fight that you want right when you want it. And I think for Canelo, I think he knows that that's going to be his last hurrah, his big payday. He already gets paid well, but that's going to be his real big payday. And he's still letting that marinate, letting that build. I think David still has some work to do on his side to build up his clout, build up his following, so that they can maximize that.
You think it's a fight that they need to marinate anymore? I mean,
I don't think David is, as big as we think he is. We want to see the fight, especially as boxing enthusiasts. But he's still, like I said, I don't think Canelo's going to take that fight for the same money that he's getting against Berlanga or against Munguia. He wants to make sure he gets the right amount of chicken for that fight. Since everybody is clamoring that they want that.
I hear you, and I get it, but man, I remember being in Vegas for Plant, Canelo versus Plant, and back then they were talking about Benavidez versus Canelo. So it's just been, it feels like, and now Benavidez is a light heavyweight. It feels like it's been over marinated. It's a fight that,
like I said, the business of it is that. David has to build up his stature a little bit more. He definitely was doing well. I think he may have took a step back in that last fight where he didn't perform up to his, what we expect to see from him. But I think the fight is going to happen. I don't think Canelo's ever ducked anybody. Canelo has taken losses. He's had draws. He's had controversial fights. The fight is going to happen, but the business has to be right. You know what I
And in the meantime, I guess he's not fighting the Benavides of the world. He'll fight the Indilis and Pacheco's
I feel like Canelo right now is kind of on that same arc that Floyd Mayweather was on. He was fighting Victor Ortiz, Guerrero, fighting the young guys who are making noise, who are coming off of big wins, and giving them an opportunity to step up to the plate. But, just like with Floyd too good, Canelo's too good. And like I said, I think we should see the Benavides fight next year. But I think it's going to be imperative on David to really show out and do some damage to whoever he's in the ring with next to get that fight.
The other storyline on the undercard is I think you got Caleb Plant taking on Trevor McCumbee for WBA regular title. So if he wins that, he's basically in the de facto sense, he's Canelo's mandatory, for the WBA. So do you think maybe that's a rematch that winds up getting made if Caleb Plant is able to win that fight and get in position?
I can't say, but what I will say is I think one thing that's cool about this fight is it's going to bring Berlanga to the party. So he's going to now be a major player at 168 or even going up to 175. So fighting with Caleb Plant, Jamal Charlo, Andre, Benavides. So I think it's like I said, if Berlanga's able to go in there and show out, he now becomes a major player in that division. I would love to see like Berlanga and Mejia fight. There's some good scraps out there still at 168. If you take Canelo
out of the equation, you mentioned Mejia versus Berlanga. That's a fight I would like to progress into this fight. Like the winner of that fight, they should fight each other first.
Maybe, but if either one, if they did fight each other first, then they may not have gotten, one of them may have not gotten this opportunity against Canelo. So it's, on the business side is you got to be, you got to really focus on yourself. I think as a boxer, you really got to look at it like, this is the Edgar Berlanga show, this is the Hamid Mejia show, and these guys have been getting built up year after year, fight after fight, to get this opportunity to really cash out on, everything that they've done up to this point.
Edgar Berlanga, if he's able to, shock the world, I think he's like a 10-1 underdog or something like that, maybe even more. If he's able to win this fight, I think he takes a pretty big step towards maybe filling a little bit of that void that's been lost since Miguel Cotto left boxing of the Puerto Rican superstar. That's been, lacking in boxing, the Puerto Rican superstar. Amanda Serrano's holding it down for the girls, but just out for the men, there hasn't been anything since Cotto to really.
Yeah, and I think, you see the way Edgar presents himself. He looks like a star. He has all the drip. I know he's affiliated with, some of my guys back up there in New York on the Terror Squad side. So he has, he definitely has the opportunity to become, a star, household name, and really get the whole Puerto Rico fan base behind him. And if he goes in there and shocks the world, that's going to be huge. That's a rematch. That's definitely even if he goes in there, possibly drops Canelo. I don't even know if Canelo's ever been dropped before.
The closest he came was when he fought not Miguel Cotto, but Miguel Angel Cotto years ago when he was a prospect.
He was got a little buzzed.
He was buckled.
So like I said, if he could go in there and have a moment, I think that would still do wonders, even if he doesn't pull out the victory.
By the way, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the 15 of you guys that are here rocking with us, man. I know Shawn ain't here. I know Shawn Porter and Shawn Zittel ain't here, but me and Dane are filling in and doing what we can do. As far as the rest of this card, we didn't get a really chance to touch on the rest of the card. Got Stephen Fulton coming back on the prelims. He's the main event of the prelims. He's actually expressed some frustration about being on the prelim because he feels with his stature and what he's achieved going to Japan to fight Inoue, he shouldn't be on the prelims. But he's fighting Carlos Castro. First fight as a featherweight. How do you feel about Stephen Fulton? Cool boy.
I love Cool Boy. I think he's super skilled. Unfortunately he fell a little short out there in Japan against the Monster. But like I said, I'm excited to see him back in there. That the Philly fighters, they got great heritage as well, and I'm expecting him to go out there and show out and show the world that he's back. He's still the major player in the sport.
For sure, and he's in a very hot weight class right now. The featherweight division's been delivering all year with really good fights, and it's a very loaded weight class top to bottom. He's actually got a couple of guys he's fought either that are champion or high in the rankings. Like Angel Leo just had a big knockout of the year candidate against Renato Lopez last month. He's the IBF champion now. And then you got Brandon Figueroa, who is going to be fighting supposedly Ray Vargas for the title. So it's a high weight class.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, there's a lot of opportunity out there still. I know my guy Antt with 2 T's, he's always talking about, fighters not being afraid to take that L and still being able to come back from that loss and having a great career. And I think Stephen Fulton will do that. And there's a lot of good fights, like you said, and maybe some rematches. Now that, like you said, some other people that he has gotten past have come back and won belts, look great. So I think the sky's the limit for Stephen Fulton. And speaking of Philly, like I said, my guy Danny Garcia is back.
Yeah.
I'm pulling.
Talk to him, man. Talk to him.
I think it's going to be a chess match. I wish Danny would throw his hands a bit more, be a bit more active.
We've been saying that for years.
That's not really his style. And Lara is just such a slick boxer. That left hand is beautiful.
Well, he hasn't really been that slick boxer as much in the last couple of years. His legs aren't what they used to be, so he's been in the pocket a bit more these last couple fights, fighting the pocket, delivering knockouts. So it could, if he decides to fight that way again against Danny Garcia, that fight could steal the show, if and only if he fights that way. If he goes back to the old Lara.
I think, like I said, there will be some moments where we get some good exchanges, but like I said, they're both slightly patient. Like I said, that fight could really go either way. Like I said, I'm biased when it comes to Danny Garcia. I gotta admit it. So I'm definitely going to be rooting for Danny, trying to see him get the victory and win a belt in another weight class, which would definitely cement, I think, his place in the Hall of Fame.
Think so?
And also, I think something that not a lot of people are talking about. I think a possible fight that we can see if Danny wins this is a fight with Terrence Crawford at 160 for that belt.
They got history. I know they got history from the amateurs. I know Terrence won a fight in the amateurs. I know Danny won a fight in the amateurs. I remember years ago, the dad was going off on Crawford about things he had said about them ducking. So that's a good fight. That was a fight I always wanted to see at 47. So hopefully it can happen. I think Lara will win though. I think you can't be as inactive as Danny has been and only have one fight at 154 and then jump to 160 and then just.
Danny has good favor, man. He obviously is a good guy and. Has a pretty good name behind him, so he's going to get opportunities, and I think we gotta enjoy the moment, enjoy the fights. Like I said, like a couple years from now, Canelo may not be around anymore. Yeah, he won't. The likes of Danny Garcia, Lara may not be around no more. Terrence Crawford may not be around no more. So we gotta enjoy the greatness that these guys display when they do get in the ring, and I'm looking forward to Saturday night. Is there anything else you?
Last thing I'll talk about, I guess, is I'm really excited to see that kid Jonathan Lopez, the 16-0 featherweight prospect. He signed to Canelo, southpaw, power puncher, and he's ranked like I think 3 of the 4 sanctioning bodies. So he's making a lot of noise. This is really his first time on a big card. So I'm looking forward to see how he looks in his fight. But other than that, I think we pretty much covered all the bases. I mean, I know Rolly's fighting Manuel Jaimes from California, 16-1. Good fighter, counter puncher, got some pop. So I think I'm putting Rolly on a minor upset alert. Just because I think Rolly ain't the most technically sound.
Rolly needs to win bad.
Yeah.
Needs to win. So and we got Caleb Plant back in the ring as well. I'm expecting him to go in there and be sweet hands and do his thing, get the win.
McCumbie can punch though. McCumbie can really punch. Caleb's had to be very cautious early on, but I think we pretty much covered all the bases here on the card. So look, guys, thank you for watching us. Shout out to Shawn Porter, and take care.
This is the PorterWay.
PorterWay.
Let's do it.